All right, so I got a bleach battle for you guys today, and it's Pepe, the love, the guy who has the love shift, and the seventh Espada, Zommari. He's the guy with the eyes who can control people based off of what one of his eyes sees. Right? If an eye touches a part of your body, he now has control of that body part. If he hits you in the brain, then he basically controls, the whole body. But he has to hit you there with, one of his eye attacks. And he has like multiple eyes on his body, And then Pepe has the shift ability of the love, so he can make anybody fall in love with him. And if you fall in love with him, you basically don't want to attack him. So let's get into this. Um, Physical strength wise, it's going to Zommari. You know, striking power, lifting power. I don't like Pepe. Literally sits on a little like cloud or pillow, and he just moves around. He don't even look like he's in shape. You know, I'm giving it to Zommari. Speed wise, I'm giving it to Zommari as well because it was stated that he was the fastest of the Espadas in their base forms. Remember, in their base forms, Pepe, he ain't fast. So that goes to Zommari as well. Durability wise, I'm giving it to Zommari. You could give it to Pepe because he is a stern ritter and he has glute vein. But I believe Zommari's a little tougher than he is. So I'll give it to Zommari. Endurance wise, I'll give it to Zommari as well. He was fighting against Rukia and then he was fighting against Viakia. And that was kind of a longer battle. Pepe, he was fighting against, a whole bunch of soldiers. But really not really fighting against them that much. Using what he had to his advantage. He was still fighting in his own way. But I'm giving the endurance to Zommari. Intelligence wise, I'm giving it to Pepe because Pepe can be like, okay, well, you might be able to hit me with those eyes, but once I make you fall in love with me, then it's, a wrap. He can't really do anything about that. He might be able to. He might be able to try to, convince himself, but it's still gonna take a long time. And by that time, he's already shooting him with arrows and other things. He has that, plan set up to basically just do that from the jump. And I know he has that same kind of, mentality too. He's like, I can just hit him in the head. If I hit him in the head, I got him. He's mine, and then I can, control his body. I can make him kill himself. Experience wise, I'm giving it to Pepe. Um, Close skills wise, I'm giving it to Zommari. Zommari is more of the attacker. He is more offensive. He'll be the one to like go after him with a sword first. Not even using his ability, just using his sword. He'll just be like, whew, run up on him and hit him, real quick. Pepe, I got him with the ranged abilities. Once he gets into a fixed area, though, um, closer to where Pepe is, Zommari does, right? His effect, his shrift takes effect, and he, starts to fall in love with him before he can even think about using any of his eyes or any of that shit. So I'm gonna give it to Pepe on that. Recovery, I'm giving it to Pepe. Um, None of these characters are known for their recovery, but I'm just giving it to him. I think he recovered better. Hacks go to Pepe. Um, there's just two guys there, but let's say there were more people there. He could hit them all with that and make them all fall in love with him, and then he's not, doing anything. He could even have them fight against each other. You know, I think that his shrift is a little bit more powerful than the eyes, because the eyes have to hit a specific body part. And I ain't saying that Pepe's, super fast or anything, but once he gets close to him, he's already affected by the shrift. And he ain't even hitting. Like, he's going to try to hit him right, and it's going to go veer off in another direction. For some reason, I can't hit this guy. Why can't I just, why can I not take my anger out, or just kill this guy? Why can't I just do that? I must be in love with him, and that's part of what the strip does, right? The environment goes to, I'm fighting, no fighting Soul Society. That's just a random ass spot. So Pepe has the advantage there. Um, but I think this could be a high difficulty fight, because Zommari does have that means to like control him and shit, but he ain't gonna hit him in the head like right away. He ain't that accurate. Like, we've seen him, hit people in the head, like Rukia, who was already like, she was already out. She wasn't even like alert. He hit her in the head, and then he was controlling her, unconscious body, right? He's not unconscious. He can see, oh shit, he hit me in the arm, and now I lost control of my arm. But like, once he starts to come in closer, trying to, kill him, or, get him, then he can basically tell him to, turn off his ability, and then he has to, now fight him, you know. But then, there's a chance that he does hit him somewhere like important, and then, Pepe's kind of, screwed. But I think Pepe has the, advantage. I don't know. It's gonna be a high difficulty fight, but I think Pepe wins that. Um, you guys let me know in the comments who you think wins, and be cool on the corner. Oh yeah, and also, Zommari is in the wrong car, and if he tried to like do Bankai plundering for whatever reason, he decides to, that's actually to his detriment. But again, Pepe's drift is, I got it over whatever his abilities are. The eyes, and hitting him off. He don't do that. Like, he don't just jump into that right away. He usually tries to kill him like quick in his base form, right? But it ain't gonna work this time. Be cool, call in the corner, and let me know what you think in the comments below.